friends, thanks for joining me today. In today's video, I'm doing another collaboration with Corinne from Mama's Little Lambs. I'm going to link her channel up above and down below. We are collaborating to show you what resources we're going to be using in our homeschool for Valentine's Day. And so after you're done watching my video, make sure to go check out hers. She just always has the most wonderful resources. She has a little son who's 4 and an 8th grade daughter, and she loves Montessori, and she's really inspiring. So go check her out. But for mine, I will show you what I got. These are resources I'm going to be using with my girls who are 4, 8, and 9. I won't really be using these with my teenagers. So this is really primarily focused on the elementary age group, but let's jump right in and I'll show you what I have. Okay, so the first thing I have is this book called Grace Notes, The Good Deed Crew, and The Secret Valentine by Kendra Parks. So I've never heard of this series before, but it is a Christian series. And so when I heard that, I had to get it. So I'm going to read you the back so you can get an idea of what it is. Come along with Grace Notes on their next gig. Background music at a chic boutique that nearly ends in a catastrophe. The Good Deed Crew is back in action once more after an accident in the icy weather. You won't be able to stop turning pages as a mysterious secret admirer emerges. A melted chocolate spill nearly keeps them from completing their mission, and chocolate hearts lead to a surprising, beautiful love story. After all, it's Valentine's Day. And then it tells a little bit about the series. The Grace Notes series sets an example of humility for kids today. While performing as Grace Notes, a successful traveling children's string quartet, the young players encounter crazy fiascos and discover the needs of those around them. Under the secret name of the Good Deed Crew, the kids go out of their way to fill those needs, serving and loving those in their hometown of Tagathi Falls, set in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. And so, let me show you, there's a Bible verse there, and I wanted to show you kind of the font and what the reading level looks like, in case you wanted this to be a reader. But the chapters are short. I think a 3rd, 4th grader would be fine reading this on their own. But when I saw this, I just had to get it. And if we like this series, then I'm sure we will get more. Okay, the next thing I got was the Don't Laugh Challenge Joke Book, Valentine's Day edition. It's just for fun. I figure we can take turns reading jokes every night at bedtime reading. And so this is just something we'll do all month, and we'll just choose jokes to read to each other. I did pick this up from Thrift Books. I'll link everything down below, so don't worry about that. Okay, I got this book, Cupid and Psyche. I think that's how it's pronounced. This is actually part of Memoria Press Simply Classical Level 4, which, here's a little spoiler alert, I'm very heavily leaning towards that for my 8-year-old for next year. Now, this is obviously a myth, right? Like a myth fairy tale type of thing. As a Christian, I tend to be hesitant towards these types of things. However, I trusted that this one in particular probably didn't have any objectionable pictures. That's something you can kind of find in these types of books, because Memoria Press did recommend it for their Simply Classical Level 4. And also, us personally, we are not against kind of make-believe. Okay, so we totally, it's okay for them to make believe and read, about fairies and unicorns, or in this case, Cupid. And we talk, about reality versus make believe. So anyway, all that to say, I thought I would pick this book up because, one, it'll give me a hint kind of into the Simply Classical Level 4, and then if I do go that route, I've already have this book. But I also kind of just wanted to check it out, and I thought it would go perfect for Valentine's Day. So that was my whole long background for this book. I did flip through it, and the pictures are absolutely fine. So I'm totally fine with the pictures. The content, I don't know yet, but I did like on the last page, it said, the Cupid and Psyche, I guess that's how you say it. If not, if somebody knows, put it down below, were finally wed, and in due time they had a daughter whom they called Joy. So I did like that it ended that way, with them getting married and then having a daughter, because that, keeps with our morals. So I'll give you a little look inside this book, but we'll see. This is the first time I will be reading something of this nature to the girls. I'm probably going to read it myself beforehand. Anyways, got that. The next book I got was Somebody Loves You, Mr. Hatch. And this is a little picture book. And it's, from what I understand, it's about this man, Mr. Hatch, who gets a Valentine delivered to him. I'll read the back. One wintry day, a postman delivers a mysterious package with a big pink bow to a lonely man named Mr. Hatch. Somebody loves you, the note says. Somebody loves me, Mr. Hatch sings as he dusts his living room. Somebody loves me. Mr. Hatch whistles as he does his errands in town. But who, Mr. Hatch wonders, could that somebody be? After some time, Mr. Hatch discovers just who his secret admirer is, and in doing so, enjoys the biggest surprise of his life. And so I thought this one would be super fun to read, and it had great reviews on Amazon. And then the next book I have is Saint Valentine, and this one is part of Memoria Press second grade. And so it is scheduled in week 19 in the literature and enrichment. And so it tells us exactly what to do for the week. So we'll be reading the book, we'll be doing our music enrichment and art of the week, and then poetry of the week to my Valentine from a child's book of poems. I'll show you that in a second. And then history and culture comes from the enrichment guide. It's based on St. Valentine. And then let me show you what that enrichment guide looks like. I do have a video about the Memoria Press second grade enrichment if you want to check it out. I'll link it above and below, but basically it has an overview of the book, tells you about the author and illustrator. Before you read, has vocabulary, and it has picture review and comprehension questions. Then after you read, some things to do. And then it has a little project here, cut colored rectangles and make a picture in the mosaic style. Here, discuss how the Romans worship many gods. The idea of one God who would come to earth as a baby and later die for his people was not their idea of a God. And it gives more talk about that, talk about martyrs. Then it has a little language lesson, which is basically proper nouns. And talking about like February is a proper noun. And then we have history and culture, which is to read the supplemental information in the back of the read aloud and list 5 important facts about St. Valentine. And then the students will write one well-composed sentence identifying the most important thing about St. Valentine. We've got some science work, some art, music, and poetry. And the poetry, I'll show you what book that is in. It is in this, A Child's Book of Poems, and it has a little Valentine poem in here. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm not going to search for it. I don't remember what page it's on, but it's in there somewhere. And then we've got the Book of Crafts, and we have Saint Valentine here. And so this all goes with the Memoria Press. And so we'll be making a Valentine card with pumpkin seeds and acrylic paint and glue and cardstock. And so I thought that would be super fun. So we'll all do that. And so the last thing I have is the seasonal STEM challenges. I showed this in my Arctic unit study. And we have, for Valentine's Day, we actually have Cupid's Arrow Challenge. And I thought that would go great with this book. Isn't that a perfect pair? So create a bow that can shoot an arrow, conswab, at a paper heart from within 10 feet. It has the materials you need, and then it gives you some hints, talks about even more things you can do to extend the activity, and gives some scientific information here about how it works, in this case, mechanical energy. So definitely recommend these seasonal STEM challenges, but that is what we will be doing for Valentine's Day. And in just a couple days, I'm going to have out a video again with Corinne from Mama's Little Lambs about President's Day. And I've already done a video about Black History Month. And so when I put out my President's Day video, I will also give you a calendar showing you how I'm incorporating all this stuff, because the month of February is Black History Month, Valentine's Day, and President's Day. So how I plan to get through all of this stuff. Most of it is during our bedtime reading. So that is how we do it, which is the equivalent to a morning basket. We just do it at bedtime. All right, well, make sure to go check out Mama's Little Lambs next, and I hope you have a wonderful day.